For more than 1,000 years, man has been plagued by the terrible pestilence of war. It was 3 days after Pearl Harbor. The last great war came with surprising suddenness to the Philippine Islands. First Manila, then Bataan. From the skies overhead, Japanese planes continued a relentless bombardment, preparatory to invasion itself. As the Jap Zeros rained a constant hell from the skies, resistance was weakened. It was only a matter of time before they would take the whole island. Havoc and destruction were everywhere. 12 days later, Wake Island fell to the Japanese after an heroic stand by U.S. Marines. By day and by night, the dreadful pounding continued, causing just what the enemy wanted, confusion and ultimate surrender. In 10 more days, Japanese forces occupied Manila, forcing MacArthur's army to withdraw to Bataan. On April 9th, Bataan Peninsula fell to the Japanese after an heroic defense by a greatly outnumbered force. The 11th Army had been all but exhausted, too weak to go on. Straggling holdouts were helpless against the powerful onslaught of the enemy. There seemed no other way than to give up. If not, every man, woman, and child would be totally annihilated. By mid-afternoon, the commanding general had decided to give out the order to surrender. The military and civilian prisoners taken were to start on the infamous Death March. American and Philippine prisoners taken at Bataan were forced to march 85 miles in 6 days, with but one meal of rice during the period. More than 5,000 Americans and an equal number of Filipinos had lost their lives. A pitiful army of civilians, haggard and worn out by the terror of war, carried their belongings from their homes in a tragic retreat to safety. Where they were going, they didn't know. This is always the tragedy of war. The killing of innocents, the slaughter of women and children. The remnants of the 11th Infantry Division of the American Army was hoping against hope for some miracle which would not come. I held the rank of lieutenant, and as such, I was traveling on a beat-up jalopy. The planes finally left, but they would be back. This we all knew.
Yes, sir, Colonel. Yes, sir, we'll do that, sir. Thanks, we'll sure need it. See you in prison camp.
What's this about prison camp? We're surrendering.
Surrender? I didn't quite like it. The word somehow didn't settle with me. How about it, Coop? Let's take off.
Too risky, man. Better surrender and save your skin.
We got it all figured out. One guy takes his white cloth and goes out to meet him, while I cover him. Then if they don't play fair...
Prison camp. Got a hunch they're not going to treat us like visiting firemen.
You're not coming with us?
I'll take my chances. The view from the hills wasn't very pretty. The ground was littered with bodies. Those who were alive kept on running. I was among them. And as I made my way up the slopes, I realized I had two choices. I could go it alone or be captured. There was still the safety of the Philippine terrain, filled with impassable brush, crags, places to dig in and live like an animal if I had to. I ran on alone, thinking of only one thing, to get away, somewhere. Where? I didn't know. The one single thought that burned in my brain was, don't give up. Go it alone. You might get out of this somehow, some way. Keep on going. Keep on going. Automatically, I kept on. I only knew what I was doing was a lot better than what they had in mind for me, though my future seemed to be the hill and jungle country. At least I could walk through it without a bayonet in my back. I'd rather go it this way. I wasn't an animal yet. It was a strange feeling, like being the last man alive on the earth. They say that a man's strongest instinct is the fight for survival. Brother, I finally found out what that really meant. They were back again. Would they never stop hunting me? As I watched them go, I found myself tired and dirty and thirsty. The new group of fleeing natives must have felt the way I felt. They had no idea where they were going either. They were just going. Maybe tomorrow they would reach the end of the road. Sometimes, in a situation like this, conventions are still maintained. Even though the rules of formality are silly, you abide by them. I'm Blackburn, Don Blackburn.
I'm Delia Guerrero. I'm trying to get back home.
Where's home?
Oh, maybe 50 kilometers north.
What are you doing so far away?
My father sent me to stay with my uncle in Bataan province. Everybody thought it would be safe there. One night the Japs bombed my house. I guess I was no safer at my uncle's house, so I was the only one left alive.
Circumstance brought us together in a place of common shelter, and we were both united by a mutual urge for safety. I don't know how many miles or how many hours we had traveled. I was beginning to feel tired and faint. One thing I knew, I couldn't keep up with her. I was about to pass out.
What is it?
I don't know. I gotta rest. I feel lousy. I don't know. I'm getting cold.
Maybe it's malaria.
I don't know how long I slept. I don't remember anything after that. When I came to, she was still there.
Feel better?
I'm weak. I think I'm going to live. Who's going to have the party?
You?
Oh?
I found those things in some burned-out house down the road.
How long we've been here?
Oh, about 3 days. I have something for you. Rice soup. Very good.
As I watched her pouring the soup, I couldn't help thinking about the kindness that human beings can show to one another. Why couldn't it be this way for everyone? Why did God make some people good and others brutal and bad? It didn't make sense. Her arms around me gave me the first decent feeling of comfort I had known for a long time. After a while, I felt strong enough to walk again, so I plodded on. She led the way. Soon we came to a water pond. Boy, did I like that. Sure feels good to have a bath again. Doesn't seem possible there's a war on. I could stay this way for days. Get behind this rock. Come on, hurry up.
なんじゃこら、女の着物じゃないか。おい、これ見てくれよ、女の着物じゃないか。いや、おい、出てこい。お前、べっぴんさん、そこにおるのか。おい、こちらの方におるんじゃないか。おい、出てこい、出てこい。その辺だ、その辺だ。おお、べっぴんさん。
Walking through the matted brush with a strange girl gave me a new responsibility. I not only had to look out for one person, but two. I rather enjoyed it. Took my mind off myself. I was committed by circumstance to the task of helping her get home. Finally, we reached her house.
Delia, oh, I'm so glad you saved baby. Mother, Delia's home.
Delia! Delia, oh, my darling.
All right.
I didn't know what happened to you. Don. Don.
American? It is not safe for you to be here. Come inside.
Her father gave me shelter in a raised hut in the back. The bed of straw felt mighty comfortable, but I couldn't shake off another attack of malaria. Chill's gone. I must have fallen asleep. I'm burning up now. Oh, it's hot. It's awful hot. Dare you?
All right, men. Search the house.
Dare you? Can't we move back from the fire a little bit? It's too warm.
Mati. Oh, come, Taka-san. Oh. Motokoi, come yaro. Undoはどこに行ったんだ？うち帰ったんだろ？ないね。うち？なんだ？
It was a week before I felt well enough to get back on my feet. Delia was like a nurse to me all through that time. These were the innocent victims of war, yet they still found it in their hearts to show human pity. I knew I had to go on and never see her again. She expressed it to me simply, sincerely.
I may never see you again.
That's a cockeyed thing to say. This war will be over before you know it.
I hate to say goodbye.
We won't say goodbye. And as I walked away, we both realized we would never see each other again. That was another tragic side of the war. You leave behind someone you could love. Next day, her young brother, the Dring Guerrero, escorted me to a place where he said there was a guerrilla camp led by a girl. By certain rules of war, this in itself was unique. She didn't seem tough, and yet the whole group followed her loyally. I knew they were prepared to die if she but gave the command. I was fascinated as they pushed through the thick foliage. I found myself following with the same degree of loyalty. The men were inspired by an ideal. This was the quality this girl was able to bring out, the true sign of a leader. We had reached a Jap encampment. We surrounded them and caught them off guard. I found myself doing just what the others did. I was one of them now.
My name's Bruno.
Well, Bruno, we're friends.
American?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
I'm an Ifigal. Orphan boy. Welcome to high mountain country.
Thank you. We greatly appreciate your hospitality.
I take you to high mountain country.
That's good. Very good.
We walk 5 days.
Maybe they can find some of my Filipino buddies up there. Had a few Ifigal boys in my battalion, American Army.
I take you there safe. Then, you fight Japs.
Bruno, right now all I want to do is hole up and stay away from the Japs.
Get you good food. Get you pretty girl, maybe. You rest up good. Then, you fight Japs.
Good luck, American.
Good luck, soldier. And thanks.
Something is happening in village.
I don't see any Japs. Come on, let's go.
Friend, I have something important to tell you. Corregidor has fallen. Corregidor is taken by the Japs. Wainwright is a prisoner.
What's this? What's this?
Mr. Mayor, I've come from the lowlands. They get news by radio. Corregidor has been taken by the Japs. But I'm sure the Americans will come back.
You are American?
Yeah. Yeah, Lieutenant. Where did you get your information?
From a priest in the lowlands who has a shortwave radio. He heard a broadcast from Honolulu.
Then it's true. The news was quite a shock. Everything seemed hopeless now. It meant that 7,000 Americans and an equal number of Filipinos were prisoners of the Japanese.
The war is not lost, Lieutenant. I was with the constabulary, a sergeant. We are your friends.
Remember, we are a people accustomed to sorrow. We have one American among us who will help us continue the fight. What do you say, Lieutenant?
Mr. Mayor, the news about Corregidor is a shock to all of us. I believe we do not push the lieutenant to answer today. We all need time to think. Let the lieutenant get his feet on the ground.
What do you say, Lieutenant?
If these simple peasants and village folk could find this much courage in their hearts, there had to be only one answer. I translated it next day into action. All right, men. Raise your right hand. I hereby declare you duly sworn members of the Armed Forces of the United States. And now the induction papers. Just sign on the bottom. Well, I hope the Army's back by payday. Otherwise, you boys will have to take an IOU.
We're not worried.
That's good. You know, this place isn't going to be safe until we get some kind of a warning system.
How about the telephone line?
Telephone line?
Sure. Gama put in the lumber company phone system to the logging stations.
Well, that's great. Let's get going. What about wire?
We can use barbed wire.
Barbed wire for a telephone system?
Sure. It will work. Don't worry.
Okay, Francisco. You and Gamma take off right now. I want to make this place safe as fast as possible. Kiangan village had a sari-sari, or the equivalent of a small-town grocery store where the Japanese soldiers would come in and help themselves to supplies without paying for them. Helplessly, the store owner, Diaz, and his wife watched, saddened by the new state of life under the forces of occupation. The Japs had just driven away in their trucks when Bruno and I got there.
is Mr. and Mrs. Diaz.
As you know, I'm forming a small guerrilla unit. Men from this town, mostly. And we're going to need food.
It is always trouble. Ever since the Japanese came, nothing but trouble.
Oh, well, we'll pay. The U.S. Army will pay as soon as...
They will find out. The Japs, they will punish us.
Now, wait a minute. You people want help. Well, now, that works both ways.
Please, don't misunderstand my husband. It is not really safe. And he's afraid. But we are your friends. We will help.
Good. We'll pay double because of the risk. Give us 50 pesos worth of rice and groceries. Here's an Army IOU for 100 pesos. You can take my word for it. The American Army will make it good in cash. So now we had food. It was a beginning. The task of stringing a makeshift communication line, therefore, proceeded on schedule. Nice going, men. Where's Gamma?
That way, sir.
Thank you. War brings out treachery in some people. Here it was no different.
I want to see the sergeant. Over there. Thank you.
Darida.
I saw some guerrilla putting up telephone wires with the Americans.
Huh? Where?
You pay me, I show you.
He had been paid for his work by them.
Sir, here are 3 ex-servicemen. More volunteers are on the way.
Good.
Conrado Balamban, sir. 23rd Company, Philippine Constabulary.
Luis Dunyan, 1st Regular Bolo Division, Philippine Army, sir.
Albert Joseph Kyocho, 45th Cavalry, Philippine Scout, United States Army.
Gentlemen, I can't begin to tell you how pleased I am.
Sir, these are the volunteers from the village.
Girls? What's the idea of having girls?
Girls can often spy on the enemy, as men cannot.
Welcome. You all know what happened yesterday afternoon. I thought that would kill the spirit of those who wanted to help us. I see now I was wrong. This outfit will be run according to United States Army regulations.
You, the Americans, what are you trying to do? We have enough trouble with the Japs, and now you come and bring more trouble.
Who are you?
Because of you and your guerrillas, my brother's dead. You sent him to work on the telephone lines. If you didn't come, he'll be alive now. I hate you. I hate you. Stop it. It's the Japs we have to fight, not each other.
Knock it off.
No.
Simmer down. Simmer down. Now listen. About your brother, I'm sorry. Very sorry. But it's a risk you take. See these people? They're all volunteers, come here to be organized as guerrillas. Every one of them is taking a risk. It's for sure that some of them will die. Now just simmer down. I'll ask the priest to take you home.
I have no home. I had no one except my brother. You have girls in your group.
Yeah. A few, they'll spy on the Japs.
Then I'll join you. I'll be your best spy. I can do anything a soldier can do. Anything.
Hey, soldier! Soldier! Douse me with a bucket of water, will you? Come on, come on! You can do anything. Start gently, and I'll turn around, huh? Right here. Best meal I've had in a long time. The only thing missing was a pastrami sandwich.
What is pastrami?
Well, actually, it's a corned beef that's been sent to Mexico for a hot foot.
You're making fun of me.
No.
You know what, Don?
What?
I've been watching you.
Oh?
You're a man of many moods. Sometimes stern, detached. Sometimes idealistic, concerned with humanity. And then again, you're so happy-go-lucky like a schoolboy playing hooky.
That's what I'm doing right now, playing hooky. This is the first picnic I've been on since my fraternity days in Tampa. Imagine a picnic, smack in the middle of a war.
It's not safe. But who wants to be safe? A thrill, an escapade. That is what makes life worth living.
You know, I never met a girl who...
Only 2 days, for sure. Tomorrow is a question mark. I live for the hour, the moment. It may be 10 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock, we may be living in another world. We may even be captured. So, let's live for this moment.
There was something so appealing and beautiful about this girl, so fresh and lovely. When I held her in my arms, I realized she was just a child. All of the horror of the past seemed suddenly forgotten. There was no war any longer. The world was a bright and happy place. There was love in the world again, and I had found it. Looks like they mean business this time. That's a job for the demolition boys. Come on. You all right?
I'm not afraid.
Good luck. Quickly, we had formed a plan. She would serve as the decoy, allowing herself to distract the Jap sentries while my men desperately worked at the bridge below, setting their charges of dynamite. It was a ticklish operation, and as I got back in my boat, I couldn't help thinking about her safety and whether or not the Japs would play it the way I hoped they would, or whether they would find her out and shoot her as a spy.
何よ、これは。これは何を動きするとめ。何よ。おい、来たぞ。あ、行け。これや。止め。何 Where are you going, huh?
My home. My home.
Home ka? Ay, mo ko. Oh, come. Come. Oh, you eat fish. Nice fish, okay? Okay. Awesome, man. Beautiful, huh? Oh, stay my body, okay, okay?
The Japs were quick to take revenge. For the work of a few, all must die. The order was given. Burn down the nearest village. Spare no one.
here. Get him out of here. Hurry up. Get him out of here. Pilar, take the baby over there, quick. They were innocent, every one of them. Men, women, youngsters, babies. Not one of them helped to destroy the bridge, and yet they died. I've got something to tell you. When I first came here, my only thought was to hold up and save my own neck. Gradually, you people gathered around, looking for leadership and an organization with which to fight back at the Japanese. I accepted that responsibility, but truthfully, in a half-hearted sort of way. Right or wrong, that's the way it was. Until tonight. But not anymore. Emilio, Kiocho, Balanban, Duldan. You are now lieutenants in the Army of the United States and the Commonwealth of the Philippines. And you will each recruit a company of 150 men.
Yes, sir. Captain.
Captain, I didn't say I was assuming...
But, sir, if we are all lieutenants...
We were gathering strength, but so were the Japs. They began using every manner of reprisal in a grim attempt to stop us in our tracks. The captain of the Japanese occupation forces went from village to village in an effort to run us down. The natives were truly living in a state of terror.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Any citizen who hides an American or gives food to American will be executed. And mayor of town will be punished. Exactly how, I leave to your esteemed imagination.
Hi. Yes, sir. Yes, Major. I'll do everything.
Because I have news about an American officer organizing guerrilla force somewhere in this area. Do you know about this? Huh?
No, sir.
You must investigate. It is supreme command.
Yes, Major, I will.
Oh, what is it?
I hope the captain will understand. We are your friends.
Well?
There can be no more rice. Only this. We are afraid.
The Japanese companies, they can't. They think we help you and feed you. Soon your camp will be found. Many of the villagers will die. Please, Captain, try to understand. Send all your men home, Captain. This is your last day, so you can be safe as a war prisoner. Surrender.
How do you expect ever to regain your freedom? You, and you! And most of all, Mr. Mayor, you. All right, boys. We'll leave this area tonight. Pass the word to the men. Give them their choice to go with us or stay here. Bruno. Bruno, you'll have to go ahead and try to find a friendly village where the mayor and his people are not afraid. Little Bruno had told me about the village of the Headhunters high in the mountain country. The idea seemed a crazy one at first, but the others persuaded me to take a look. In war, you learn to try anything, even plans that at first might seem impractical.
Captain Blackburn, this is Chief Timmick Paul.
Welcome to my village.
Thank you very much.
We are having a big cañón for you. Please follow me. Caño. Officer is a very stubborn man before, but he is a very nice guy now.
The welcoming festivities continued for several more hours. Then Chief Timmick Powell ordered his tribesmen to build barracks out of Nippapalm to house the new army of the Headhunters. I was convinced the chief meant business. Everyone in the tribe pitched in, young and old alike. Your men work fast.
We are not lazy. Work good, fight good too. One headhunter is better than 10 jobs. You wait and see.
News of my alliance with the Headhunters filtered back to Japanese high command, who increased the size of the rewards and made preparations to use sterner measures against us.
Timmick Powell speaks. I hate the Japanese. I'll send posters to all the villages to inform that I, Timik Pau, chief of the Headhunters, will make pledge. I will take your heads before you spend your money.
You're a real friend. We now knew there was no going back. The word of the headhunter chief would never be broken. With full speed ahead, the training program began. My guerrilla lieutenants and I started teaching the tribesmen drill methods according to U.S. Army standards. They obviously enjoyed the cadence count, but not as much as I. We were building a miniature army, taking people from the past and teaching them to use the techniques of the present. It was a thrilling experience all around.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Hey, boss, many men are coming.
Captain Blackburn, here are 2 headhunter chiefs. This is Aranayo and that is Mayon. Good fighters, too, but not as good as Timikpa.
Some here now. Some come later. Maybe 200.
Good. Your men are accepted as soldiers in the American Army.
I bring men, too. More will come later. Maybe 300 good fighters.
All headhunters are good fighters, and every headhunter is welcome to join up. Kamayang, our camp at your village will be Camp 2, and yours, Anoya, will be Camp 3.
Come to my village tonight. Have a big canyao. Many dancing girls.
This is Tobian. Do you read me?
Hiya, Don. Is that you for sure?
Russ! Russ, you old son of a gun. Sure, it's me. What's the good word?
Not much, Don. By the way, how's your guerrilla army coming along?
Getting quite a few men and weapons. We've got 3 camps and more on the way. These headhunters are great fighters.
Well, it's a good thing they are. I made contact with a Navy ship last week. MacArthur sent orders. Do everything possible to capture north shore of Luzon. Now, that means the Jap stronghold at Aparri. I've got my hands full here on the west coast. So the Aparri job falls to you.
Aparri? Hey, Russ, do you realize that's something like 100 miles north of here, and half of that's flat land?
But you'll give it a go. That's the spirit. Now, many of your men served in the 11th Infantry before the war. So you're authorized to reactivate the regiment. Good luck, and keep me posted.
Russ. Hey, Russ. Camp Victor, come in, Camp Victor.
So we are the 11th Infantry again, officially.
Well, let's get busy. You've got lots of work to do.
Next day, we made our plans to take Aparri in northern Luzon. It should have been called Assignment Impossible. The Japs would have us outnumbered 10 to 1.
Let's go.
Take good care of her now, Bruno.
Okay, boss. You find out all about jobs. We meet you this side of river. 2 days from now. Maybe sundown. Okay?
Okay.
Bruno, tent hut. About face.
Take care of yourself. Down the winding mountain trail came my hastily organized guerrilla army, badly outnumbered, lacking in proper equipment. But they had one thing in their favor, a fierce will to win. They were fighting for a cause, to protect their homes from an invader. Sometimes it's tough to tell that to bullets, but they were willing to put their lives on the line. No one complained. They knew they had a job to do, and they were going to do it the best they knew how.
Down the winding trail, we'll fight on singing as we go. For we cannot fail, we'll fight on, crush the deadly foe. Then will come the day of glory, raise the flag up high, and we will tell the world we'll fight. We'll fight for time.
Not much concealment from here on.
Flat country, not good for headhunters.
Well, it's about 20 kilometers to the woods this side of the Cagayan River. We better camp here till nightfall. As I surveyed the forces under my command, I felt a pardonable pride. And I wondered how the U.S. Army brass would react when they found out I had enlisted headhunters into the U.S. Army. To the west, I suddenly sighted a group of reinforcements sent by Roy Russell. They were under the command of Major Bilal, and I was surprised to see a pretty good supply of artillery, much more than I expected.
Major Iloyo Bala reporting, sir. We would like to join forces with you.
Very glad to see you, Major. I've heard that you have a very well-trained outfit.
This is Captain Caballero.
Captain?
I'm glad to meet you, Lieutenant Santos.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Domingo.
Lieutenant? We need officers and men very badly. We've been assigned a tough objective to take, and we can't take it unless we multiply our forces.
That means Aparri.
Yeah, that's right. After a short rest, we pushed on. Halfway to Aparri, there was a garrison we would have to wipe out. This we well knew. I would have to organize my strategy as soon as we got a look at the terrain.
All right, men. Get
Major Bilal has something to say to you.
Men, we are going to take Aparri. It will go down in history that the 11th Infantry, an army of Filipinos, took all of northern Luzon back from the Japs. It will go down in the memories of your children and grandchildren that you took part in the battles that broke the Japanese. We have trained and toughened ourselves in smaller battles. We have captured thousands of rifles. At last, we're ready now. God be with you.
2 months ago, I promised you that we would take Aparri. Now I'm ready to keep that promise. So on to Aparri, men, and good luck. When I left Pilar and little Bruno behind, it was with a specific plan that they would perform a scouting mission behind the Jap lines. This they proceeded to carry out. But I didn't know at the time that they would run into some bad luck.
All ready to cross the river before dawn, Major. Big fight ahead. You better get some sleep.
Well, it doesn't look good. Pilar and Bruno are long overdue. No intelligence report. We can't attack. Might walk into a trap.
Bruno dead. Jeb's coming across the river at dawn.
Bruno's dead. Did they get the information out of you or him? You better get some rest while you can. The rest of the story to your father. Take it to my camp. All right, boys, we break camp now.
Break
Bruno. What happened?
They would have caught me if he hadn't.
There. We won't talk about that now. No more time for crying, Trooper. Your boy's got a little fight in his hands.
Thanks for everything, Don. For giving me a home, a chance to revenge against Japs, and some of your love.
Cheer up, Pilar. This isn't the end of the world. People come through this like everything else.
Aparri. I must go back to Aparri. Time is running out. I must leave for Aparri. I must.
Okay. That's the way you feel. But be careful. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Don.
But
Goodbye. Goodbye, Don.
The Jap headquarters in Aparri was making ready for us. They weren't going to be caught napping.
Look here. 11 infantry guerrillas have taken many provinces from Japanese. So, Imperial High Command has sent me to exterminate these guerrillas. So, now we start campaign to take back North Luzon. And if we do not succeed, every officer of this command will be disgraced and must commit harakiri.
Since the report indicated that the Japanese were about to cross the river and ambush us, our plan was to take them by surprise. Pilar, in the meantime, had infiltrated behind their lines in order to give us vital information. As the Japs made for their boats, our guerrillas were lying in ambush, waiting for them. Slowly, they crept up. Pilar acted as our lookout during the start of the operation. Until they're 50 yards away. I fire the first shot.
Yes, sir. Hold your fire. Wait for Blackburn's signal.
50 yards. Hold your fire. Boss gives the signal.
Okay, boys, I'll go over it one more time. We're here, the river, Aparri. Major Bilal, your howitzer will shell the center of Aparri, Jap headquarters, that white tower. Timok Powell, you and your headhunters will cross the river above and below the town. The remaining forces will cross the river in bankers for a direct assault. You, give us 2 minutes, and about 10 minutes on the barrage.
Okay.
That's it. Are there any questions?
No questions, sir.
All right, let's take off. And good luck.
Okay.
Major Blackburn, the girl Pilar, is she not in Aparri?
Yes, I believe she is.
Yet you have given orders to shell the town.
Father, that's a matter of the deepest concern to me. But I have no choice.
You are a spy. Do you know what is the fate of a spy? It is death. But you will also find me a kind man if you do not write to me. I do not try to mistreat a woman, even a spy woman. How many guerrillas are in Blackburn's army?
I don't know.
You know. You know. Where is Blackburn now?
on! All right, Japanese, get hand up. Hurry up, Japanese. Hurry up. Move. Move, Japanese. Move. Move.
Pilar. Pilar. As I lifted Pilar in my arms, I realized that victory had brought me a personal sorrow. She had asked for nothing. She had given all she had for the sake of her people. And as I carried her lifeless body out past the ruins of the town, I felt I was holding a whole nation of people in my arms. She was the heart and soul of all the others who had likewise given their lives for freedom. If ever the history of this part of the war was written, she would get a special chapter for herself.
Sir, Major Donald Blackburn, reporting to the commanding general as ordered.
Major Blackburn, it is my pleasure to inform you that you have been promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are directed now to relinquish your command to Major Bilal.
Yes, sir.
Major Elohio Bilal.
Take command of the troops as a nucleus for the new Philippine Army.
Yes, sir.
Headhunters!
When I first came to the Philippines, I knew little about the people. But as one Filipino after another saved my life at the risk of his own, I learned to love another people, another race. There can be no people on the earth as friendly and loyal to America, no people more ready to defend justice and freedom that we believe in. This truly is, then, my second home. Goodbye. And thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Battalions! 10! Move!